What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Broken Tables podcast. This is episode number 45. We are here with our AEW Dynamite review show. I am here with our Broken Predictions champion, Rome. How you doing tonight, Rome?
You know, we had some technical difficulties. Sorry for everyone, hanging in there with us. There's two of us here tonight, as I told everybody. Forrest isn't here. You know, of course, like I tried to warn everybody. I did try to warn everybody that this is what Forrest was going to do. But apart from that, I'm doing great. I'm doing excellent. We have a lot of stuff to get into tonight. We will be talking about the Vince McMahon story, but we're going to talk about Dynamite first because we don't want to do a disservice to the excellent show that this was.
Yeah, absolutely. Before the show tonight, I was thinking about doing our Dynamite review after our big news that broke out today, but it would just do the show a disservice. This was a 5 out of 5 Dynamite. Again, they're knocking it out of the park lately, you know what I mean? And this episode, if this didn't make you want to see Forbidden Door, then I don't know what to tell you, man, because this was unbelievable episode of Dynamite.
Yeah, man, it was a excellent episode with a lot of awesome stuff leading up to Forbidden Door. Yeah, let's get into it. We have a bunch of stuff to go over tonight.
Yep. So we start off with the Jericho versus Ortiz hair versus hair match. I got to admit, I thought Jericho was losing his hair in this match. I thought we were gonna get Voldemort version of Jericho, but no. We got interference pretty much from everybody that's been involved in this storyline. When Eddie Kingston hit his spinning back fist and knocked Jericho into next week, I thought that was it. I thought that was game over. 1, 2, 3 was coming. But no, Jericho kicks out, and man, this match was fantastic. Ortiz is a lot better than I actually thought he was. I think this might have been the first time that I have seen Ortiz in a singles fashion. I'm sure we've seen him once or twice before in singles, but this was very memorable. I'll remember this match for a while. This was a really, really good match from Ortiz. But Fuego del Sol shows up with a baseball bat and smashes Ortiz, and Jericho gets the win. And for a good 30 to 45 seconds, I actually thought that was Fuego del Sol until the camera pointed directly at him, and I noticed that the mask was still like open. And I was like, Why is his mask open? And then I just saw Sammy's mouth. I can't, that stupid mouth. I don't know what it is, but I can't unsee that guy's mouth.
It's a very defined chin.
It's very defined chin and teeth. But Sammy Guevara, dressed up as Fuego del Sol, interferes in the match and saves Chris Jericho, saving his hair. I loved how Ortiz grabbed the scissors himself and chopped his own dreads off. And I don't know if he did it with the scissors or if he did it with the electric buzz razor, but he cut his own head and kind of smeared the blood on himself. So that was a really good. I don't know if it was an accident or on purpose, but that was a really good little spot there.
Yeah, it was with the buzzer. Yeah, no, this is an excellent match, and I definitely agreed with you. I wasn't expecting Jericho to lose. I feel like a lot of people were. But I still thought that it was a great outcome. I think that everything kind of made sense for what it was. Love the false finishes towards the end of the match. I thought that was great. The Fuego, at first I thought it was Fuego too, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was like, oh, well, that's cool though. Like, I guess Fuego's just going to join the JAS. But no, I think it's a great move to kind of put Sammy back with the JS. It really establishes that he's a heel. We had that bullshit, awful story with the TNT title and just a lot of uncertainty of where they were at. After tonight, that Sammy is a heel. He's with the JAS. And so is Ty Conti, which we see her later in the night. Juan's asking in the chat where was Ty Conti. She does show up later in the night because this is not the last we see of Jericho and the JAS.
Yeah. Where was Ty Conti? She showed up later on. She just didn't come out for this segment, which I was very happy about. I did not want to see her in any sort of physical segment at that time. So I thought this was okay. Sammy's got the nuclear heat right now, and doing this seemed like a very, perfect move. I was surprised I didn't think of it before, but yeah, I thought this was actually an okay thing. Some people are upset about the finish. I think Jordan there's a little upset about that finish, but
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. It does make sense. He used to be, in the inner circle with Jericho, and Hager. You know what I mean? So I think it made sense.
Yeah, plus I thought it was a great moment kind of when Ortiz was shaving his own head. I think it's probably the only time I've ever seen a hair versus hair match where the loser ends up he shaves himself.
Yeah.
And again, it builds up the babyface team. It's like he's a man of his word, and he's shaving his head, and again he does bust himself open, and he's like blood and guts, man. Like
Blood and guts. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we get the Wardlow versus the 20 Plaintiffs match. First, I want to say Wardlow's new song slaps so freaking hard. I love that new Wardlow song, man. Like, I want to know the name of the band, if it's even a band. It's probably Mikey Ruckus again, but
yeah,
I wish there was an album to go with that song. But this match, I was expecting to be one of the high points of the show, and this was actually my low point of the show. Specifically because of the woman announcing the eliminations. I thought that really made this kind of seem like a mess. It didn't make much sense the first time she announced, 1, 2, 3, and 4 have been eliminated when they just got knocked off the apron. I don't know if you heard that, but I think that was a mistake on her part, to be honest. I don't think she was supposed to say that yet.
Yeah, so Dasha Gonzalez is filling in for oh my god, Justin Roberts had a brain fart. Justin Roberts tonight. And she's not bad. I mean, obviously she's not as good as Justin. I think that there was some miscommunication on her part of the match, which is a fair thing because I mean it's an elimination 1 versus 20 match, so she was confused. She kind of rights the wrong right away though. After she does it the first time, she realizes, oh wait, no, that was a mistake. I don't know. I thought this was great TV. It's not a great match, but it was great TV. I had a blast. It was a fun time. I didn't talk to Forrest much through the whole show, but Forrest did not like the segment.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I mean, again, like I thought that this Dynamite was like a close to perfect Dynamite just because it kind of had a little bit of everything. And you know what? You need great TV on these shows.
Yeah.
It's fun. You need a fun break from the great matches. A great wrestling show has great matches, great promos, fun TV. And this was the fun TV part of the show. But no, I mean, I thought it was great. I really liked it. I was really into it.
So what happened for me here is I didn't like. It felt like it wasn't thought out tremendously. Like having him pin all 20 guys. I just it took too long. The crowd, you could tell the crowd died out halfway through. They were like, okay, all he's gonna do is keep powerbombing these guys. What I think they should have done is 20 versus 1 like they were, everybody versus him. But he only needed to pin one guy to win the match, and they only needed to pin him. That way we could have had 20 different dudes trying to stop him from pinning someone, and then all he had to do was absolutely annihilate everybody and then pin one guy. It just felt real messy, and some of the guys he was pinning were face down, so like that didn't make any sense to me. It just felt like it wasn't super well thought out. They were just like, here guys, just go out and do it. I get it. It was good TV. Like I thought about half of it I was loving the power bombs and stuff, but I expect more at the moment from Tony Khan. I felt like this wasn't thought out as much as it should have been.
See, apart from the critique of the pinfalls, which I will give you that, I mean, it was just meant to look good, which it does because he's pinning piles of bodies. But I actually thought that this was way better than it being just a simple one pin, and then done. Again, and Jordan in the chat saying that's not how pins work. I understand that, and I'm getting that. Again, it's definitely a suspension of disbelief.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that this is like a Meltzer 4-star, 5-star match. No, it's not that. But it's, it was just fun TV. And I actually preferred them to go the route they did as opposed to a one fall. Because if it was one fall, that would have felt like the most pointless segment ever. It's just like, okay, just pin one guy. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a 30-second segment.
I mean, he could have
Whereas this,
tried like 10, 15 times, you know.
but then that would have made him look worse. That would have made Wardlow look worse. Like, you
I
want
guess,
Wardlow to
yeah.
look strong here, and if you had it where it was just security guards pulling Wardlow off of other security guards, like, I don't know. I think that would have been an awful segment. I would have hated the segment if that's the route they went with it. That's just my personal opinion.
No, I can see that.
But I mean, I thought it was cool because they did some of the falls were unique. Like, they had the one where he chokes the one guy out while he's pinning the other guy.
I like
that
that
was
one.
fucking.
I like that one.
That was dope. But again, it's just like, I understand where you're coming from, and I understand the idea that people didn't like it. But I was a fan of it, so, you know.
No, I can definitely see this being of, like, you know, some people liked it, some people didn't. I just happened to, you know, I just expected a little bit more, I don't know, continuity is the word, or making more sense is the word, but yeah, it was fine. So after this was over, we had Dan Lambert. Big T, I'm going to explain that right now. I will let you know who that was, because I was a huge fan of this guy as a kid. So Dan Lambert comes out with Scorpio Sky up in the crowd and spouts his nonsense, and he says that he's got a couple of guys from American Top Team down in the audience, which happened to be Matt Hughes, who is a former middleweight champion from the UFC. Now, I'm talking 20 years ago, this guy was a middleweight champion of the UFC. He can barely walk. You could see he was like limping to the ring, limping getting in the ring. So immediately I was like, this dude is not believable at all. But Tyron Woodley is believable. He was the middleweight champion of the UFC, I believe, not even a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And that dude is still a monster. He's still going to be fighting in some MMA somewhere. I'm sure he'll wind up somewhere. But yeah, that was Matt Hughes, and he's got to be pushing 50 or 60 now, and he's just a teacher. So I don't see why he was in the ring at all, other than maybe for people my age to have recognized him, because I immediately recognized him.
They were both from St. Louis, which is where they worked.
Okay, so they're both from St. Louis. That's right. That's why Wardlow mentioned that. Okay, yeah, that made sense.
Yeah, and again, this is just a fun TV segment, which is also setting up for the next feud. Dan Lambert has connections, so you think he would be able to just sick UFC guys on Wardlow. You know, again, like, I know that Matt Hughes had no right being in the ring, but for me, it was harmless. I did see a few people on Twitter who were just like, "Why is this guy in a wrestling ring? He can barely walk." And I was like, he didn't do anything physical, so it's like, whatever, you know.
He could have been Big T. He's one of those guys that could be in a lot of pain in his later years. You know what I mean? He could be. Yeah, I like this. I liked how Tyron Woodley, you know, basically threw Mark Sterling over to Wardlow, and we got a powerbomb to Sterling. And again, to go back to these power bombs, I feel like we've seen so many of them now that it's taking away a little bit when we see power bombs in other people's matches. So I do hope that they turn it down just a tad on the power bombs there, because there was a couple power bombs later in the night that I was just like, oh, that's like the 30th one I've seen. You know, so
I mean, it's Wardlow's finisher.
It is. Yeah, it is.
You're gonna see a lot of power bombs.
What used to be his finisher? I thought I liked his finisher before he started doing those.
I thought it was always a power bomb.
Oh no, he used to put them up on the turnbuckle. He would put them up on the top rope, and then he would give them like the face punch, and they would just fall to the knee. He would do the knee, and they would just fall down.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, that was cool, but I mean, you know, they want something. They want a baby face finisher, and a power bomb is a very baby face finisher.
I can see it. It's okay. I'm okay with it. Yeah. All right. So next up was Dax Harwood versus Will motherfucking Ospreay. I tweeted out right before this match started, I said, these gentlemen are about to make you guys buy this pay-per-view. And if they didn't, I don't know what to tell you. About 3/4 of the way through this match, I wrote down 5 stars. And then when it was finished, I crossed that out and I wrote 6 stars. This may have been the single best match that I have ever seen on Dynamite, on regular TV. Not pay-per-view. I struggle to remember a match that doesn't involve Kenny Omega or Bryan Danielson that was better than this. Match of the year contender, abso-freaking-lutely, Jordan. This was my favorite match I have ever seen on Dynamite. I'm going to say it now. I can't think of a better one. These guys are two of my favorites in the world. I'm wearing my Will Ospreay shirt right now. I didn't even wear it on purpose. The Kingpin is the real deal. People are saying he's just flips and flying. No, he's not. He put on an absolute wrestling clinic with Dax Harwood there. That people who want to become wrestlers should watch that match for years to come and study that match. It was unfreaking believable.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought this was such a great match. This is an excellent match of the night. I don't know if I would go as far as saying it's the best match I've ever seen on Dynamite. I would have to like kind of really sit down and think about that because there's been some absolute fucking bangers on Dynamite.
Yeah.
But this was this was excellent. This was just, again, this is why we didn't want to open the show with the Vince McMahon story, which, by the way, we will be talking about the Vince McMahon story in length. We have plenty of stuff to go over. But like we would be doing like this match a disservice if we spent 40 minutes talking about Vince McMahon before we talked about Dynamite.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is excellent, man. This was what a fucking banger this match was. This was excellent. And you know, Dax Harwood, man, he keeps showing up in these match of the year contenders this year. I mean, Jordan kind of just beat me to the punch right here, but like we might have to start thinking like at the end of the year, this guy's gonna have to be in Wrestler of the Year conversations. Like, he keeps having these bangers like month in, month out of this year. You know, you look at the Briscoes match at Supercard. You look at the match here in Philly against Cash Wheeler. You look at the Bucks, both of the Bucks matches, because I think they wrestled twice this year. Again, no, they wrestled the Bucks once this year. The Bucks match was excellent. Like these guys have been having killer matches, and then tonight, like it's just, you know, what can you say except it's just constant excellence from Dax Harwood.
And dude, I don't know if it was earlier today or maybe last night. I actually tweeted out, or somebody else tweeted out, who is your wrestler of the year so far? And I wrote singles Dax Harwood, and I wrote tag team would be FTR because I have to include Cash in there. Like Dax Harwood is easily right now the wrestler of the year for me.
Just to butt in also, Jordan also reminded me of Dax Harwood versus CM Punk, which was also fucking excellent.
Incredible. Great.
Yeah.
The dude does not have bad matches. Again, how the WWE let somebody like him go or get out of there is insane to me. Like he's unbelievable. I don't know what else to say about Dax. Like, did you hear his chops? His chops sound like gunshots. Like,
yeah, I actually wrote that down. I was like, oh my god, it's just the
they were so loud. It made Ospreay's sound quiet, and Ospreay has some loud chops too. Like, so essentially here, Ospreay wins, man. I could not believe that Ospreay got the win here. About halfway through the match, I thought we might get some sort of time limit draw or something like that, you know, to set something up for Forbidden Door. But, you know, it started to become a little obvious that Will was going to finish this one. He hit him with his old school, the Ospreay cutter off the ropes. That didn't work. He only got the 2 count. And then he hit him with, I forget what this thing is called, man, but it's just a giant forearm elbow to the back of the head and got the 1, 2, 3.
I think he called it the hidden blade, and he said he was like, oh, he's taking out the hidden blade. I think that's what they call it, which really cool shout to Assassin's Creed, which I really
yes. United Empire comes out for the beatdown on Dax, and we get Roppongi Vice and Orange Cassidy coming out for the save. And as soon as I saw Orange Cassidy facing off with Will Ospreay, I was like, yes, give it to me, because I'm going to be there, dude. Oh my God, I can't wait to see that match. They did announce Orange Cassidy versus Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door. That's going to be so good.
Yeah, so I was super hyped. I'm a huge Orange Cassidy fan. I love Orange Cassidy. He's one of one of my top favorite, the OG AEW guys. Like, I was so happy that he's back. He's been dealing with a shoulder injury. So like, let's fucking go, man. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for Forbidden Door. We got Cassidy versus Osprey confirmed, which I'm glad they're going that route because I would rather see those guys in a singles match. Um, Plus, I think Undisputed Empire or United Empire. I'm sorry, United Empire.
United Empire.
They have other things coming their way, which I'm sure we can kind of figure out.
Sorry, I had to throw up the United Empire crown here real quick. Oh,
It's okay.
Their
Okay.
symbol is cool. I don't know if you can see me right now, but their symbol
I
is
cannot.
awesome. It's you make a crown with your hands, and it actually looks really cool. I saw it in Philly; they were doing it. So
It's okay. I'm going to see it on the stream and like, there it is. Okay.
there it is.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it's cool.
All right, so we had everybody out here. United Empire. We had the Great Okan, who we all love here. He gave us our opener to the podcast, which we finally had translated, by the way. He essentially says, these guys support me in my career. Go check out their podcast. That's pretty much what he said. So I loved this. I can't wait to see what else comes out of this. I have a feeling FTR or Roppongi Vice are going to face someone else that's involved in this for sure too. So yeah, FTR versus Okan and Cobb. Ooh, that'd be good for the Ring of Honor championships. I'll take it.
No, it's gonna be all belts on the line.
I
told you,
I'd
man.
like that
I'm
too,
book.
but
So again, I'm booking this. This is how it's gonna go. It's gonna be FTR versus Okan and Cobb. All three titles will be on the line. AAA. No, actually, probably not
ain't
AAA.
gonna-
'Cause-
no.
No, not AAA. I'm sorry. The IWGP and the Ring of Honor titles will be on the line. Winner takes all. FTR wins, setting up for FTR Bucks at All Out, where with probably all titles in line, maybe just the AEW tag titles, where FTR walk out and they will walk out as a 4 World Championship belt winning tag team, and that'll be it. And then at the end of the year, we'll be like, yeah, that was the tag team of the year.
And do you think you're thinking FTR takes that home, or are you thinking the Bucks take that?
Oh, I think FTR takes it home. I think you give FTR that shine.
I agree.
I think they're on fire right now. Like, I do. So like, here's the thing, right? Like, I do think the Young Bucks are the greatest tag team of all time. That's just how I feel. But you can't deny the fact that FTR are just on fire this year. And they're the greatest tag team this year. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So next up, we had a Jon Moxley vignette on Hiroshi Tanahashi. Moxley said he is the best wrestler in the world. But your shirt would say otherwise, I think, doesn't it? Yeah. But he's injured right now, so we're going to have two guys calling themselves best in the world when this is all done and over with. I have a feeling that's going to be, I like that.
As far as I'm concerned.
It was a decent vignette, which I don't know if it was quite necessary since Mox was coming out immediately afterwards to face Tanahashi, but, it was okay. Just like a quick 30 seconds there. Yeah, top guys, FTR, baby. So Moxley and Tanahashi come out face to face. I don't know if you noticed this, but when when Moxley was walking to the ring, Kip Sabian was very visible on camera. And the way he was clapping, he was being very deliberate.
Yeah.
Doing very slow clapping. I really, really hope that whoever wins that title, Kip comes out as their first defense. I hope he comes out for a challenge, like a surprise. I'm back, because I don't know if you've seen him, but he is jacked like Buddy Murphy now. Like maybe not quite as big as Buddy Murphy, but he's jacked.
Yeah, I mean, he's great. He was there all night. I caught him a few times even before that. Yeah, I mean, I hope Kip comes back soon. I definitely miss Kip. He's extremely talented and, big fan.
Yeah, absolutely. So Moxley was cutting an absolutely fantastic promo, and I did not see this coming, man. And Jericho, his music hits, and he comes out to interrupt this. Jericho basically says to Mox that, if I was here last week, this would have been my spot. I guess he was claiming that he would have won the Battle Royale. Is that what he was insinuating there?
Oh, yeah.
Tanahashi, with his best English he could, says, Jericho, shut up, which was pretty good. And Jericho basically says, "Get 'em, boys," and we see a whole bunch of New Japan guys come up from behind everybody and take them out. We had Desperado, that was the guy in the mask. We had Lance Archer, who is an NJPW crossover with AEW. You know, he's worked both companies for a long time now. I thought this was very unexpected. What did you think here? I was not expecting a big run-in like this at all.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I expected it specifically from this segment, but I knew we were going to have to get some stuff like this out because we are 2 weeks away from the pay-per-view, and we obviously don't have the full card yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was a really cool segment that's going to add a pretty awesome trios match to the pay-per-view.
Yeah, for sure. Did you catch the names that Jericho called out here? What?
Yeah, so Jericho did he was kind of all over the place when announcing the
Yeah.
actual match itself, but I do have the match itself. So it's Eddie Kingston, Shota Umino, and Wheeler Yuta teaming up against Minoru Suzuki, Chris Jericho, and Sammy Guevara.
Wow, Minoru Suzuki's. Yeah. Okay, he did say Suzuki Gun. I remember him saying that, but yeah, he was all over the place, so I couldn't catch the actual names, but that's going to be fantastic. Sammy Guevara, Suzuki, and Jericho versus Wheeler Yuta. You said Umano or Umano?
Hold on, let me see here. I wrote it down. Shota Umino.
Umino? Okay.
Yeah.
Not too sure I know him, but that's going to be great with Eddie Kingston, who, speaking of which, Eddie came out for the save and scared everybody away himself. That was pretty good. So, all right. Next up, we had a vignette for Darby. Darby cut a quick promo on Kyle O'Reilly, telling him, you know, he's going to do the same thing to Bobby Fish on Rampage that he did to Sting. So apparently we're getting Darby versus Bobby Fish on Rampage.
Yeah, it was not advertised at the end of the show. Excuse me. It wasn't advertised at the end of the show, but it was definitely mentioned here. So we have to assume it's going to be there.
Yep. All right. Next up was Toni Storm with Tony Schiavone. Basically, Toni Storm called herself a high school dropout, and then said she wasn't stupid enough to fall for Britt's tricks. I don't know if she thought that promo out very well, because she said, you know, Britt, you went to school, you did a lot of studying, so you're smart. She's like, but I dropped out when I was 15, but I'm not dumb enough to fall for your tricks. I was like, that didn't make you look very good, but okay. I was like, you swing and a miss, you know, but it was all right.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah. All right. And let's flip the page here. Next up, we had the All-Atlantic Championship qualifier between All Ego, Ethan Page, and Miro. Another absolute banger of a match here tonight. Ethan Page and Miro put on a very good match. You know, what can you say about this? Both these guys are absolute great workers. I love seeing Miro back. Really nice to have that scary... I don't know what it is about Miro other than his face, just that mug, but he just... You're afraid of him just seeing him. You know what I mean? Like, even if he was being nice to you, you're still like, this guy's scary.
So just to real quickly, our resident research, you know, goon in the truck, Jordan, coming in the clutch here, saying that Shota Umino, aka Shooter, is Mox's young boy since day one in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
After leaving WWE, Shota went to UK for excursion in 2021 and just returned to NJPW recently.
Okay, I think it's pronounced Umino then. That's why. Okay, Shota Umino.
Umino.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, admittedly not big on the Japanese names still, you know.
Miro copied Sheamus with the chops to the chest. A lot of guys do those chops to the chest now. A lot of guys do them. But yeah, I think Sheamus did maybe originate that. I'm not sure, but yeah, maybe. All right, so this match, Lambert tries to get involved, and he gets rewarded with a right hand to the face from Miro. Always good to see Lambert, you know, get his mouth shut there. And immediately after, Miro just finishes off Ethan Page with the game over submission. That submission looks nasty when he locks it in and then finishes it off by wrenching all the way back. Just everybody taps out immediately. Same thing with Ethan Page here. Can't blame him. So Miro moves on to the 4-man battle royale or whatever, or battle 4-man 4-way, whatever you want to call it.
It is called a 4-way dance.
4-way
Jeffrey.
dance. I got to remember this. 3-way dance,
Yep.
4-way dance.
I'm officially, look, all right, so hold on. So, as champion of the Broken Tables podcast, I'm going to have to step in and make another champion's decision here. From here on out, we don't have triple threat matches or 3-ways. It is a 3-way dance, and we don't have fatal 4-ways. It is a 4-way dance. That is it. That's the decision. It starts right this second.
Understood.
I know that you make a lot of mistakes along the lines of things like he's Daniel Bryan or Aleister Black and stuff like that. But be better, okay? Be better.
I will attempt.
Your champion asks that of you.
I can only do as much as my dumb brain lets me, so we'll find out.
Yeah, I was gonna call you a Fed fan, but I'm not making any jokes about you being a Fed fan tonight.
Nope, they definitely
really
lost.
Quiet on that side of really quiet on that side of Twitter, by the way. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like usually Twitter feels like there's a war going on, but not tonight. Tonight it seemed kind of one-sided.
Yeah, nuclear bomb goes off. It's usually a little quiet for a while.
Yeah. Jordan, ECW naming rules. Absolutely. That's what we're doing.
There we go.
Here. We're, I'm a Philly guy, Philly wrestling fan, live here in Philly. We're going to pay homage to ECW. It's going to be called The Dance.
The Dance.
The Dance.
All right. So great match between Miro and Ethan Page. Great job to those guys. I can't wait to see who wins this All Atlantic Championship. I love that belt. That belt is absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be a great match. Can't wait to be there and see it. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we had a quick promo with Matt Sydal and Dante Martin cutting a promo on Jon Moxley, basically saying, like, we're going to beat you this time. And in the middle of saying we're going to beat you this time, they showed Jon Moxley kicking his ass the whole time. So that was a little awkward.
This was this is a miss for me.
Yeah, I agree. Dante's usually bad on the mic. I actually thought Dante's few words were okay this time.
Yeah, no, they were. It was definitely an improvement. It was probably his best moment on the mic, but the problem is that I just wasn't really feeling the promo didn't line up with what Moxley's doing right now. It just didn't really do anything for me, and I feel bad saying this. But like I understand Dante Martin is like super talented and everything, but like I don't want to say that I'm getting sick of seeing him, but it's just like I don't care enough about him to like want to see him as much as we see him, if that makes sense. It's just honestly, like he's super talented, but like he doesn't captivate me, he doesn't grab me. Like TV time is really valuable in AEW, and I feel like I understand he was just doing a quick promo for Rampage. But, like, I don't know. I feel like there were other guys that could even get the match against Mox to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I honestly feel like he fits in Ring of Honor, and I think we will see him move down there once they get their own show, for sure. Yeah. Because, like you said, the roster is stacked, and TV time is, at a premium right now. So, and he's just got that young face. You know what I mean? He's got that face. It just doesn't look ready for TV yet to me. Like, I feel like in 5 or 6 years, he's going to be on TV and we're going to like him. You know what I mean? But right now, he just looks too young. He's like the New Japan Young Boys. He's like one of the Young Boys right now, And
again, it's not that I don't like him. I don't want to, that's the thing. I don't want to come off like I don't like Dante Martin. I just think you're kind of saying it best. Like, he's not ready in terms of like a complete package.
Yeah.
He's excellent in the ring, bell to bell. He has excellent matches. His style is... it's that style of high-flying athleticism. But for me, like, I believe that it's not everybody of that style has this problem. But for me, it's all what's the term? It's all flash, no sizzle, or all sizzle, no steak, or whatever it is. There you go. All sizzle, no steak for me. Where it's like, he's super entertaining. He flies around. A lot of fun, but. Like, what are you actually doing?
Yeah,
and not all high flyers are like that. That's not an indictment against high flyers. It's just more so an issue I have with him.
Yeah, and like his finisher, the moonsault off the back rope, landing on someone, I'm just like, to me, that's just not a believable, like, pinning somebody off of that, you know? But
What, for a moonsault?
yeah, well, for his, like, it's like a really high swooping one, and he kind of just barely catches them, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, you know, not enjoying him as much as I could, but I just feel like it's not a believable actual finisher. Like, it could be a setup for a finisher. Like, he should do that, then pick the guy up and do something. You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
And I agree with Jordan. Like you said, ROH 6-man scramble, cage match, 2004, put Dante in it. Yeah. And I think that would be great for him. And, you know, I'm excited for Ring of Honor to start up, because we're going to see a lot of these guys get some TV time, and, you know, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we got plenty of stuff for him to do, too. So, All right. Next up was Britt Baker, Dr. Britt Baker, I'm sorry, DMD, and versus Toni Storm. The first thing that I wrote down was immediately when Toni Storm came out of the tunnel, I was like, holy shit, Toni Storm looks cool. Like, if there has ever been a female wrestler that just looks cool as hell, it's Toni Storm. Like, that look was just, like, it blew me away. Like, and the wife was like, she looks like that every week. And I was like, I don't know. Something about tonight was, like, better than normal. I don't know what it was, but she looked
I don't know what it was either. She always looks cool, but she always looks like that.
Yeah, that's what the wife said. But something about her tonight, I was just like, wow. But I actually thought this match was way better than I was anticipating it to be. Her and Britt started off 100 miles an hour, just beating the crap out of each other there. What do you think of the start of this? I didn't expect them to, you know, go in 100 miles an hour like that to start this match.
Yeah, I thought this was a great match all around. I thought that like you said, the intensity was really high when the match started. You know, this is a great match. It's a shame that that Dax and Will Ospreay stole the show, because I thought this was great. I mean, the main event was really great also. But like, this is just a stacked Dynamite, and, you know, they had a great match. I thought it was excellent to have Toni Storm beat Britt clean. It helps establish her. I think that, you know, this is setting up for a world title match, which actually we get confirmed later in the night, which is interesting at Forbidden Door, but okay.
I actually was surprised with the Jamie Hayter interference, and Thunder Rosa came running out and chased Jamie Hayter off into the back. Are we going to see something with Jamie Hayter and Thunder Rosa? Or that confused me just a tad, but I liked it. Like, I was like, yes, give me that match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's still a tease there. I think they're about to break up Britt and Jamie, so I don't think we're going to see Jamie go right to a title shot anytime soon.
Okay.
But we'll see what happens. Juan in the chat saying Paige will soon be released from her WWE contract. She said she wants to wrestle again. I think she should make the jump to AEW, but first go to ROH and win the women's championship. Have the title be defended every now and then. Now AEW television. She hasn't wrestled in a long time, and ROH would be a good place to refreshen her skills. Yeah, I actually do think that Saraya is going to end up in AEW. There's no compete clause because it's just her contract expiring. So, you know, I think she said that July 7th is the end of her contract there. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, no, I agree. I do think we see Saraya in AEW.
I'm going to have to 100% disagree. She is in the Bryan Danielson camp of no doctor will clear her at the moment. Her neck is not cleared to wrestle. Last time she was in a wrestling ring, she was paralyzed. She could not move. I don't want to see her in an AEW ring unless she is cleared by multiple doctors.
Do you have a source that no doctor's clearing her? Because she seems pretty adamant that she's going to be wrestling soon.
From what I saw in her tweeter, what she said on Twitch is she's not cleared yet, but she still wants to wrestle. So I don't know if what I said of no doctor will clear her, I don't know if that's true, but at the moment she's not cleared to wrestle, is what
I'm of the opinion that it's probably more so no WWE doctor will clear her.
That is probably true. Yes, that is probably more than likely what is true. If she can get cleared by some doctors and people don't say that she went to everybody she could find and finally found somebody to clear her, I might be okay with it. But dude, for someone to be in the ring and not able to move, like, you're lucky to not be in a wheelchair. Just go home and be happy is where I'm at with that one. I don't know, man. That's tough for me.
At the end of the day, I mean, I agree to an extent, but I think that if she can get cleared by doctors and she's healthy, I mean, she's still young. Like this isn't for me. This isn't like a Ric Flair thing where like Ric Flair has a pacemaker in his chest, and that pacemaker can get knocked loose. The battery can get knocked loose, and he
Yeah.
can just drop dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like that's why I don't think Ric Flair should be wrestling. But if a doctor clears Soraya and says, hey, you know, like there is some risk, but generally if you take care of yourself, you'll be fine. Then, you know, I say let her.
Yeah.
One in the chat saying Britt Baker liked a fan's tweet bashing Thunder Rosa for her carelessness against Marina Shafir last week. Do you think there is a real heat between the two camps, or is Britt just being a heel?
I
guess
believe
we could
every
touch on
word. I believe every word of that heat.
You know, I don't know how I feel exactly because I think that people like drama, and I feel
Yeah.
like I don't 100% believe it completely. Do I think that is it possible that maybe Thunder Rosa was being a little lazy in the Marina Shafir match? Yeah, I could see that. I mean, there are reports that she wasn't well the week prior, so I mean,
True.
she could still just kind of be feeling that, and you know, she just didn't have a good match.
Yeah.
The Brit liking it thing, I don't know. Like, part of me wonders if that's real or not because
Britt
if
and
if
Marina
it's just
Shafir both liked it.
I don't know. It's just it rubs me the wrong way to be liking tweets like that in public. Like if you
Same.
have an issue with Thunder Rosa, like talk about it backstage. Like I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way on Britt's part and
Yeah.
on you know, and I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Part of me is just like
some of the Twitter game between the wrestlers definitely rubs me the wrong way. Like, have you seen Jade Cargill's Twitter? Like,
oh yeah,
she goes hard on people like, go fuck yourself. And I'm just like, yo, I don't know where your line is of like, is this your character or are you really telling this person to go F themselves? Like sometimes it's tough with her, you know, but yeah,
well,
like you said.
Mean, kayfabe's not dead. So,
Yeah.
you know, but I kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like the disconnect completely. I mean, like, obviously their Twitter is their personal stuff and they could be them, but I think also you should, you know, try to stay somewhat believable to your character. Like, I mean, I think we can all agree that when The Undertaker joined Twitter, that was just the fucking end. It was like, all right, well, you're done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, and he was like tweeting things and like with like the casket emoji next to it. And I was like, dude, just stop. just change your Twitter. You're Mark Calloway now.
Yeah,
you're not the Undertaker
I was gonna
anymore.
say same as Glenn Jacobs, him and Kane, man. They're just yeah. So I gotta say, I want to see Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter. I don't want to see Rosa versus Britt Baker again, so I'm glad Toni Storm won. I love Toni Storm right now. I think she's on a tear. And just to, you know, let me get back to the Soraya thing real quick. I'll say this: if a doctor clears her and says that there's no risk unless she gets kicked in the back of the neck, kind of the way she did last time, like I'll be okay with her getting back in the ring again. But I just really fear for her safety after that bad of an injury. To me, just is, you know, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So as long as she's good and good to go, I'll be all right with it. AJ Mendez, abso-freaking-lutely, I've wanted her since the moment I saw CM Punk come. I've even wanted her since before then, but you know, since CM Punk's been here, I've wanted AJ as well. I loved this match. Like I said, Toni Storm, absolutely great. I loved the outcome, so we'll see how this did you say that they announced a title match at Forbidden Door? Or?
Yeah, so they announced at Forbidden Door it's going to be Thunder Rosa defending her title against Toni Storm, which
go.
I thought it was interesting to get an AEW straight up AEW match in there. I guess it makes sense though. I mean, if you're going to have the pay-per-view, you might as well capitalize on it. I assume we're going to see probably something from New Japan also on the card where it'll just be New Japan wrestlers. But also it makes sense because New Japan doesn't have any women talent, so Tony Khan probably wanted to have some women on the show. So I think it makes sense to have the match.
Yeah, and I thought there was some rumors of one of the female wrestlers from, I think it's from Stardom, was going to come to do the Forbidden Door show, but we'll see. Maybe they'll get somebody to go against Jade or something, but I don't know if Jade will be on that card, to be honest.
I don't think she will be.
No, yeah. Paige is still very young. Think she is 29. Yeah, I think she's in her late 20s. Yep. But let's get moving on here. Next up, we had a quick promo by Stokely Hathaway speaking on Jade's behalf, announcing an open challenge for the TBS Championship. Willow shows up out of nowhere, and Stokely Hathaway basically tells her she's crazy as hell to accept this challenge, but see ya on, did he say Rampage or next week?
Rampage.
Rampage, yep. So we'll get Willow versus Jade Cargill on Rampage. I love Willow. Willow's great.
So yeah, I'm gonna give Willow Nightingale her props here. I thought this was actually a pretty good promo from her.
Yeah.
I haven't been a super big fan. Like, I think it's just inexperience. I want to see her in like 2-3 years from now where she's at, because I thought this was actually pretty great on her part. I was definitely digging it. And it's nice to kind of see her again on Rampage. I mean, clearly she's going to be important to Ring of Honor. I feel like she's going to be probably one of those main females on Ring of Honor. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Jordan in the chat saying Jade, Ty, Anna J, Serena, Thunder, Britt, Athena, Tony, Ruby, add Soraya, AJ, and Mercedes.
Oof.
Fire emoji.
That's the strongest women's roster on the planet if all that comes together.
I don't even think that's everybody. I feel like he's leaving out like.
There's definitely people being left out.
Cheetah,
Statlander,
Deeb, Statlander, Riho. Yeah.
I couldn't even do it. I was gonna be like Rio Sakazaki.
Oh, you're thinking of Yuka Sakazaki.
Sakazaki. Yeah, I was gonna do Yuka Sakazaki.
The most annoying theme song in wrestling. Can't stand it. I love she's great as a wrestler, but I'm not a fan of the music.
All right, so next up we had Hangman come out for a promo. Calls himself a dumbass for challenging Okada to the IWGP Championship because Switchblade Jay White over the weekend has taken that title away from Okada. He is your new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, Jay White. I love Jay White. He's one of my favorite. I got to see him perform out here in Philly as well, so that was freaking awesome. Basically, Adam Cole interrupts and says, "You're not getting that match. I'm getting that match," and then introduces Jay White to come out. And I was a little confused there because, like, Adam Cole's like, "I'm getting that match," but then he's like, "I'm bringing out the dude." Why would the guy want to be your friend if you're the one that wants that match? You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. It's just part of the deal there. Jay White actually wound up coming up behind Hangman and hitting him with the Blade Runner, which is the old Sister Abigail. So I love that move. Jay White's been using it for a long time there. Like I said, he calls it the Blade Runner. Good name for it. He tells Hangman and Adam Cole that neither of them are getting this challenge. So I'm not too sure what to think here. He said no Okada, so I'm not sure what we're supposed to think, but I do think we can still get the four-way there.
We'll see what happens. I think Jordan's saying that Okada might not be there due to a new baby. I don't know if that's true or not. Part of me wonders, are they waiting to see if Bryan Danielson's going to be good to go? And maybe they're keeping Okada off until they know that for sure. That's just kind of where my brain goes. We have a virtual boy in the chat right now saying that it was a great show. It figures that he would only appear in the chat and not, in the actual podcast. As I discussed at the beginning of the show, thank you for joining us, Forrest. About time, bud. Well, as per usual, you're about an hour late. But, thanks for showing up all the same. Adam Cole stopped carrying the Owen Hart title trophy. That definitely happened.
So did Britt Baker, and I was actually glad about that.
Yeah, I don't want to see them carry it around for a whole year. That would be ridiculous.
Carrying the belts made it seem as if they were something to be defended. It's a belt gets defended, so those go hang on your wall. Take them home. I'm glad they stopped.
Right, championships get defended on a regular basis, and if I'm not the champion of this company, of this podcast, I'm terrified to think what the future of this championship would hold. It would probably sit in some virtual closet, gaining virtual dust, and not be defended.
Look, now you got to feel bad because now he's not feeling good. That's why he wasn't here.
Oh, and best wishes, absolutely, but at the same time, business. Champions got to carry on. So
I was expecting you to heel it up there and be like, I don't care if.
Look, all right. I don't know why I'm being called a heel just because I'm a great champion. I don't see myself as the heel at all. I see Forrest as the heel. He's the guy that didn't help me get the amiibo, that failed me then. He's the guy that, when we had the Smash Brothers Championship, lost to me there. It's like I'm just doing me, man.
He is coming after your title, so.
But anyway, speaking of champions, Jay White, man, his promo that he cut after he won the IWGP Championship was excellent.
Yeah.
I thought that his promo tonight was great. I don't know who he's facing at Forbidden Door. Part of me thinks that, we're gonna probably get a number one contenders match next week, I guess. I don't know. I still see them kind of going the three-way dance route with Cole and Page, but seems like Jay White doesn't want to face either of those guys. So I don't know.
The moment he said it's not gonna be you to Adam Cole, Kenny Omega popped into my head. And I almost lost my shit because I for a second, like a split half of a second, my brain was like, Kenny Omega's coming out. But then I was like, no, he's not coming out. But what if it's Kenny Omega?
I actually did write that down in my notes. I've been predicting Kenny's return. It was actually the gamble that I made at the last prediction show. Of course, Forrest, he decided to double or nothing, which is why he lost. But, it's, I do think that there's a great possibility that we see Kenny Omega. DraftKings is obviously official sponsor of AEW, and they have their pool up for Forbidden Door, and there's questions that you can answer on the DraftKings app. Did you see this?
I did not.
So one of the questions is, will we see Kenny Omega at Forbidden Door?
That's one of the questions?
That is one of the questions. Tied. Hold on. While Jeff's mind is melting, because my mind already melted earlier when I saw that about the DraftKings. Forrest, man, stop it. Don't do this to yourself. Don't do this to yourself. Tied. In the event of a tie in pro wrestling, the champion retains unless there's some sort of stipulation, and unless you're going to go to the commish, old man Jeffrey, and have that be a stipulation, if we tie at Forbidden Door, it's going to be the same thing, and I'm going to retain. That's just the rule. That's how it goes. So I don't...
Juan, CM Punk is injured. CM Punk has been removed from that match. Oh, okay.
I think
gotcha. Okay, I was like, whoa.
It was a typo. See, the problem is we have so much stuff to cover tonight, but Forrest is trying to question, this right here, and he has no right to do that.
Yes. At the moment, we are, the tie goes to the champion.
When you're champion, that's the other thing. When someone else is champion, if someone else ever becomes champion, I don't even know if I'll ever lose this title. But if it were to happen, then that champion can make those little decisions themselves. If they don't want to, experience a championship advantage, that's on them. They can do that. But me as the champion, I'm absolutely going to do that. So, sorry, Forrest, but that's life, man. Sometimes your ride bails on you. Sometimes you don't make it to Best Buy when you need to be there. It happens. That's life. You need to learn that lesson, because I definitely learned that lesson a long time ago.
All right. So this left me right now, my mind is melting thinking that Kenny Omega is on the DraftKings betting line.
Yeah, that happened to me this morning. We're not this morning. It happened to me this afternoon. I was like, oh, you don't say. Kenny Omega.
So that I'm glad that I thought of that too. So as soon as I saw Jay White tell Adam Cole, it's not going to be you, I was like, Kenny Omega, I flipped out. I screamed it at the top of my lungs at the TV. So yeah, I really hope that's what we get, man. That would be a dream come true for me to get to see Kenny Omega versus Jay White. Like, if there's a match,
Yeah, and then also that would really make sense for this Elite Civil War that I think is going to happen.
Yeah,
because it's Bullet Club. So I definitely see that as being a catalyst to that.
absolutely, and it would make
Maybe
sense
it'll be
for
like
them.
Jay White. I could see it being like Jay White like cuts a promo on Tony Khan and is just like, Tony, like, you know, I need a real challenge. Yeah, I need you to send your best guy at Forbidden Door. And then all of a sudden, like, the lights go off and it's like the cleaner and battle cry. This is my battle cry. And then like Don Callis comes out. Like, oh wow, there he is. There's Kenny by God Omega.
I want rows of the girls with the brooms. Like, oh, that entrance was one of my favorites when he used to have the broom and the girls with the brooms would come out. That was great. I can't wait. This is going to be an awesome show. All right. Next up was the Young Bucks versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus in an absolute banger of a ladder match for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Holy crap, this match was insane. There were tables and ladders everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to talk about Jeff Hardy now, or do you want to wait?
So, yeah, let's do a quick mentioning of why Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy were not involved in this match. So, over the weekend, Jeff Hardy, well, I guess it was on Monday morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
It was either Sunday morning or Monday morning. Very early.
It was early this week. It was early this week.
And it was at around 7:35 in the morning. Jeff was pulled over for very erratic driving. Multiple people had called the police on his vehicle swerving in the road.
So it was actually not 7 in the morning. He was pulled over and arrested at 12:45 in the afternoon.
Okay, so that's where the confusion has actually come in. He was pulled over at 7:40 in the morning. He was booked into the jail cell at 12:45 or 12:40.
Are you sure?
It took them that long to get him booked into custody, yes. I believe it was Sean Ross Sapp that actually cleared that up in one of his tweets.
Okay.
So, yeah, the whole process of pulling him over started at 7:30 a.m., and he was booked into his jail cell around 12:30.
Yeah, so it was really unfortunate. They were at a show. They were at an event Sunday. An event that, according to Matt Hardy's wife, Reby. Let's go with Reby. Reby's claiming that she and Matt, number one, told the venue not to serve Jeff alcohol. They also did everything that they could to prevent him from drinking.
Yep.
However, Jeff is a grown adult, and he brought his own whiskey to the show. A video surfaced on Reddit that I saw at the show where Jeff takes a shot of whiskey, and man, he downs that fucking shot of whiskey. He says that whiskey is his best friend but his worst enemy, and then makes kind of like an explosion. Like, he already knows where he's going with this, you know what I mean? And it really sucks to see, you know. And I think that the way Tony Khan handled it was the best possible way you can handle it. I mean, suspend him without pay and, you know, help him get right. At the end of the day, he's going to want to have to get right. And it's really heartbreaking to see guys like, you know, like Jeff do that. You know, I mean, to go through that, you know, guys that we grew up watching, and, you know, the struggle is real, and hopefully he gets the help he needs. I also want to take the time on the platform that I have to say fuck Booker T. The guy's just got the most dog shit takes. Like, I don't know if there's anyone in the world of wrestling who has worse takes than Booker T. I'm just gonna say it. Basically blamed AEW for it happening. Which I don't know how you're gonna do that, considering this guy has literally had these issues most of his professional career.
Yeah.
And it's wild to me. Like, again, like, I fucking hate Booker T. He is the biggest shill for WWE, which, like, I can't wait to see Booker T spin what we're going to be talking about after the Dynamite review. I can't wait for Booker T to be like, guys will be guys, or whatever. Like, no, fuck that. Like,
Yeah.
I can't stand Booker T, and that's also just need to be said. But Jordan said, without he himself wanting it, nothing will change. Also blame Undertaker and Michael Hayes ultimately for making a 17-year-old gargle Jack Daniels. Yeah, I mean, that's toxicity that exists in that company, which we will definitely be talking about. Just a reminder, anyone wondering, yes, we are going to talk about the news that broke today about Vince McMahon. We just wanted to talk about Dynamite first. Stay tuned. We will be talking about it in depth and in detail. I have a lot of stuff for it.
And to say that AEW is responsible is just absolutely ridiculous. They did what they could. They had the two people closest to him watching him,
yeah.
Jeff's a grown man, you know what I mean? They would have to hire somebody to stand guard next to him 24/7. Like, you can't.
And the problem is that, he wasn't even super drunk at the show. So that Rebby and Matt dropped Jeff off at his hotel and then left, and he fucking got drunk in his hotel room. Like, what do you want? Like, what more do you want from them?
The crazy part here is that his license is suspended.
Yep.
And he also has a breathalyzer machine attached to his car, or any car that he owns, meaning that in order for him to get into a vehicle, he has to blow through a breathalyzer first, which to me that shouldn't even be a thing because he lost his license, right? So I'm sure that there's some sort of gray area going on there, but that is another rule that he was under, that sort of a provision or whatever you want to call it. He went and used his license that he kept on purpose, knowing that he was going to use this license in the future to rent a car. That to me right there shows like premeditated knowledge of like, I know I can't drive, so I'm going to go rent a car. There's no breathalyzers in a rental car.
Yeah.
And that right there to me, like, that really blew my mind, showing that like, that there's like some premeditated planning here of like, I'm gonna get drunk and I'm gonna go drive a car. Like, I don't like this at all.
Yeah,
I really do hope he gets the help he needs, because I have dealt with this in my family once before. My uncle actually drank himself to death. The doctors literally told him, if you don't stop drinking, you will be dead in 6 months. And it was pretty much 6 months to the day he passed away. So this hits home to me. I hate seeing this. I hope he gets the help he needs. That's all I can say.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just super important. Like you said, and you know better than me. I've been pretty blessed that I haven't had to deal with anything like that personally. But yeah, I mean, it's just hopefully Jeff gets the help he needs, and some things are a little bit more important than pro wrestling, and obviously his well-being is definitely that. And just, man. And that was the other crazy thing. So like, the Reddit video I saw, which you could probably go on Reddit and find it, where he's at this show Sunday night. He was wearing exactly what he was arrested in Monday morning. So like, he literally just went back to his hotel room Sunday night and just started going.
Drank the rest of that bottle.
Yeah. And we were going to talk about it later. Originally, we were going to talk about it after the Dynamite review, but now we have something else we want to talk about after the Dynamite review. So we just wanted to touch on it because we're not going to ignore the news.
Yeah, so. That's the reasoning. If anybody was under a rock for the last couple of days, that's the reasoning of why the Hardys were not in this ladder match. But I thought this actually made this, I hate to say it, I think this made this a better match. This match was incredible. All four men involved, all four of these guys did absolutely incredible jobs here tonight. I think I lost count at 7 tables broken, but I do think that's the final count, if I'm not mistaken. I am going to make the baddest of freaking all broken table of the week, month, year, whatever you want to call it, compilation of every table that was broken here tonight, if I can get the footage. So
which one's going to be the actual broken table of the week? Is it the Luchasaurus one, or is it the 450 splash?
It's going to be the 450 splash, in my opinion, but maybe we should let chat vote on that one. What do you guys think? So, the two that we're going to go with for the best of the table spots tonight were Luchasaurus threw all 4 tables stacked up 2x2, or was it the 450 splash by Nick? That 450 splash was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. So we'll see.
Yeah, it was wild. It was absolutely wild. Juan asking, do you think Meltzer will give this match 5 stars?
Better.
I think Meltzer's gonna give 2 matches on this card 5 stars.
Yep.
That's just my personal opinion. The crowd really helped too. Crowd was super into it tonight. St. Louis was awesome. Absolutely awesome crowd. Excellent match with great spots. It's an excellent match when I stop writing things down.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of notes because I just start watching the match. But yeah, this was excellent. Really loved it. Young Bucks win. They become the first ever 2-time tag team champs in AEW history. And then man, there was this swerve at the end that I just didn't see coming. So no. Christian Cage, he turned on Jungle Boy. He hit him with the kill switch and did the concerto and laid his jacket. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, you should have heard me yelling it. I was yelling, Christian, get him, get him, get him. And Jenna was like, why? What are you talking about? And I was like, Christian's going to turn on him right now. Do it, do it, do it. And then when he did it, I was like, yes.
So it seems we have so far, we got one real vote for the 450, and then we have a virtual vote for the 150. So I guess we can count that as 2.
Yeah, so 2 for the 450. Jordan is actually voting for one of the other table spots. So let me run down. I think there was only 4 table spots here. The first one was Jungle Boy gave a Hurricane Rana to Matt. So Matt went through the first table. Mm-hmm, he tried to Hurricane Rana Nick. Nick countered the Hurricane Rana into a powerbomb through the table. So that's Jordan's vote. We can vote on all of them. So there's the powerbomb spot. And then Luchasaurus gets booted in the face and winds up on a table. And that's where Nick does a 450 splash through the table. And then the final one was Luchasaurus getting pushed off of a ladder, going through 4 tables that were stacked 2x2 on top of each other. So I got to go with the 450 splash just because of how difficult that was.
See, I also really like the powerbomb spot.
It was good. It was a very good counter.
It was a great powerbomb through a table. It looked really good.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. That's tough. I'll be the tiebreaker. I don't want to make a vote. I'm gonna abstain for right now. If I need to break a tie, I'll make a vote. But Juan in the chat saying that heel turn was definitely long overdue, but it didn't surprise me at all when Christian did it. Christian should have turned heel during the match. That would have been unexpected. I don't think there's any situation where Christian turning heel tonight would have been unexpected. That was complete sarcasm by me, by the way, for those that didn't know. Yeah, it's fine. We knew he was going to turn heel tonight. It was just, didn't really matter when, in my opinion.
I do kind of agree that would have surprised me if he interfered in the match, because I'll be honest, until Christian appeared at the end, I forgot all about him. I didn't think about him for 1 second in this match.
Yeah. So
yeah, Luchasaurus went through 5 tables.
Yeah.
He went through 4 at the end and 1 at the beginning. He took a beating tonight. That dude is, I was going to call him a monster, but he's a dinosaur. So
he's a dinosaur. He's not a monster.
So yeah, man, the concerto. I didn't expect the concerto with Jungle Boy's family in the audience. His mom and sister were right there.
I really appreciated the concerto. I was like, thanks, Christian.
Yeah,
appreciate you for that. You didn't have to go that far, but you did.
You didn't have to.
You shouldn't have.
So I believe you mentioned you're thinking 2 5-star matches. This is definitely one for me, and the other one's got to be Dax Harwood versus Will Ospreay, correct?
Excuse me. Yes.
Yeah, me too. I would be absolutely shocked if they both didn't get 5 stars. I would be absolutely shocked. I didn't see anything in either match that I had any problem with at all.
Yeah. Again, it's just such a shame for this show because a lot of people were focusing on other things tonight. Hopefully, people still gave Dynamite the attention it deserved. Jordan asking, did AEW predict WWE's booking? But I'm not sure booking of
Yeah, I'm
what.
not sure what you mean. What's that referencing?
Juan saying Lucha is a mixture of Taker / Kane for me. He has the athleticism and tattoos that Taker has, and the mask and chokeslam that Kane has. Not to mention the height. Yeah, I'm a big fan
I
of
like
Luchasaurus.
that.
I'm really wondering like if they ever break this tag team up, like what are they gonna hopefully he has a spot still.
Oh, he should definitely go on a singles run. I could see him going on a singles run.
Yeah,
Change up the
probably.
color of the mask, make it like a black mask, make him heal. Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan said TK held off Christian's turn until he could point to the young kids turned on Edge. I had to strike before you turned on me. Uh, no, I don't know. I
Ooh.
don't think that was necessarily the plan. I will say this though: Fightful reported that segment last week that was filmed in the Young Bucks office, where it was all three teams were in there. Apparently, that was filmed the week prior. So it was filmed 2 weeks ago, not last week, which I
Okay.
thought was interesting. It was
Huh.
just a little tidbit, not super important, but it was just
Yeah.
something interesting that I saw.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, so that is it for an absolute banger of an episode of Dynamite. And like I said, the low point on the show was the Wardlow segment, but that was still pretty good. You know what I mean? Like
It was good. It was good. It was
it
great
was.
TV.
I'm just saying, like that's how good this episode was. Is that was the low point? You know what I mean? Like this episode was really, really good.
Yeah. We have some stuff announced. Let me run through that real quick, and then we will get to the next part of the show. So, first up, we have Rampage on Friday. We will hear from Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee to get an update on what's going on with them after last week's Battle Royale, where Swerve eliminated Keith Lee. We will get Jade versus Willow Nightingale for the TBS Championship. Max Caster and the Gun Club will be in trios action, which this match was absolutely booked, so Max Caster can absolutely destroy Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah, I can't wait
That's
for
what this
that
was
rap,
for.
dude. That rap's gonna be sick.
I'm sure it's gonna turn up on Twitter tonight. I'm gonna watch it. Like I don't usually do that. I usually wait until Friday, but I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna watch it tonight, and then I'm also gonna watch it Friday if it shows up. And then we have Darby Allin versus Bobby Fish.
Okay, yep, I like that match.
Yep. And let's see in the chat we have Forrest saying, I think it was Jungle Boy lost all his gold and now Christian sees him as a loser.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then Juan saying, do you think Wardlow should change his finisher to a spear? I don't think many, if any, use a spear as their finisher in AEW. No one else does really in AEW, but I don't want to see another spear finisher. I think it's a little bit too close to a really overrated guy over in the Fed.
Yeah, I mean, we got three guys in the Fed. We got Goldberg, we got Roman, and you got Bobby Lashley. Like, I can't take. Yeah, no more spears.
That's four. Yeah, I don't need to see anyone else using a spear. I think the power bomb works great,
and I think Sean Spears uses it as a semi finisher.
Yeah. And then so for Dynamite, we have the final qualifier on the AEW side for the All Atlantic Championship. Penta Oscuro versus Malachi Black. That's going to be a banger. And then we have... So what's up?
I think that's going to be as good as Dax versus Will Ospreay might be, man.
Yeah. And then we have United Empire versus Orange Cassidy and Roppongi Vice. Confirmed for Forbidden Door tonight. We got Orange Cassidy will face Will Ospreay in a one-on-one match, which I'm super excited for that. And then we do have the AEW Women's Championship will be on the line. Thunder Rosa will defend against Toni Storm.
Oh, yes.
And that is what I have for the preview.
All right. And I think that'll do it for our Dynamite review, and we will get to the elephant in the room here. I'm going to start off by letting you guys know that stories like this, now this may be one of the biggest ones we've had in a while. Stories like this are why you don't see us covering the WWE very much. There's certain things throughout the years that they have done, said, and just in good conscience, I know that's, one of Rome's big things. He consciously, he just can't watch the show.
Mm.
And this story here may have been the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I may never watch a WWE minute of their television again. Once this story fully comes out, it may completely eliminate them from my wrestling knowledge or whatever we want to call it, like future,
Yeah.
whatever. Go ahead and take this one
and you
away, man.
say yeah, and you say that, like, oh, we don't cover WWE much. It goes beyond, for me. It goes beyond, like you kind of touched on. It goes beyond covering it. I don't watch it. I don't watch Monday Night Raw. I don't watch SmackDown. Watching Hell in a Cell with you to do the stream, while I had a great time doing the stream. Um, if we weren't doing a live stream or weren't doing a podcast, if this wasn't a thing, there is no chance in hell I would have been watching Hell in a Cell. Yeah, it's so we have a lot to unpack. I have a lot of notes on my phone and a lot of stuff to go through, so just bear with me. I'm going to try to, keep the news up as current as I can. So let's see here. So for those unaware, there was an article posted today by the Wall Street Journal. Vince McMahon is under investigation by the WWE board. This reporting is coming from Fightful. According to a report by the Wall Street Journal, the WWE board is investigating a secret $3 million settlement that Vince McMahon reportedly agreed to pay to a departing employee with whom he allegedly had an affair with, according to documents and people familiar with the board inquiry. A January 2022 separation agreement reportedly bars the now former employee, who was hired as a paralegal in 2019, from discussing her relationship with Vince McMahon or disparaging him. So for those that don't understand so far, just to keep everyone on the same page, basically Vince McMahon paid this former WWE employee $3 million so that way she legally would not talk or discuss about an affair that she had with Vince McMahon, or speak ill of him moving forward. So Vince took $3 million of the company's money and paid this former employee, now former employee.
And it's essentially called a hush fund or a hush order or whatever. I forget the terminology.
It's hush money.
Yeah.
Hush money. Hush money is what it's called.
Yeah.
The investigation reportedly began in April when other older non-disclosure agreements involving claims by former female employees of misconduct by Mr. McMahon and John Laurinaitis, the head of talent relations at WWE. No, we will not be making a joke about his voice today. The Wall Street Journal couldn't determine how many previous agreements were being scrutinized. Board members reportedly learned of the $3 million agreement in a series of anonymous emails they received from someone who said the former WWE paralegal was a friend of theirs. The first email, sent to board members on March 30th, alleged that Mr. McMahon initially hired the woman at a salary of $100,000, but increased it to $200,000 after beginning a sexual relationship with her. So again, just to kind of keep everyone on the same level, Vince hired this woman to be, have a job in the company, in the office side of the company. Her salary was $100,000. They started having an affair. He doubled her salary based off the fact that he was having an affair with her. The email to the board also alleged that Mr. McMahon gave her like a toy to John Laurinaitis. The board is investigating the allegations in the email. The people familiar with the inquiry said the former employee reportedly moved from the legal department in 2021 to become a direct assistant to John Laurinaitis. Oof, so far.
Yeah.
But we're not even done. My friend was this is a quote. My friend was so scared, so she quit after Vince McMahon and lawyer Jerry paid her millions of dollars to shut up, the initial email to the board said, referring to Mr. McMahon's longtime lawyer, Jerry McDevitt, who negotiated the deal, according to people familiar with the board inquiry. Outside counsel for the board is reportedly still collecting information about the other NDAs, but has determined that the payments totaled in the millions of dollars. The board preliminary findings reportedly are that Mr. McMahon used personal funds to pay the former female employees who signed the agreements, including the one involving allegations against John Laurinaitis. The directors reportedly received a copy of the $3 million agreement from one of Mr. McMahon's lawyers on June 12th. One person familiar with the inquiry said, the non-disclosure agreement provided an upfront payment of $1 million to the former employee, with remaining $2 million be doled out over a period of 5 years, people familiar with the deal said. A WWE spokesperson said the company is cooperating fully with the board inquiry and that the relationship with the ex-paralegal was consensual. He added that the company takes the allegations seriously and it is dealing with them appropriately. Near the outset of the inquiry, lawyers for the independent directors asked WWE, Mr. McMahon, and John Laurinaitis to turn over complaints or allegations about any relationships the executives may have had with company employees, one of the people said. Um, so again, it's just a lot to take in. Just gonna stop for a second. Man, like this is shitty. This is really really shitty. Um, so what's your take on this so far?
So I actually just had to go through my massive corporations sensitivity training and all the sexual harassment training and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally violates like everything that I just went through in my entire training, man. Like it's bad. Like I wouldn't be surprised if this comes with some jail time possibly for him, because I don't know if it was as consensual as they're trying to say it was. You know what I mean? Like by today's standards, you know, a guy telling a woman like, "Hey, I'm gonna fire you if you don't do this." You know, I don't even know. I don't even know, man. It's just despicable, absolutely horrible.
Yeah,
And
it's absolutely fucking disgusting. I mean,
yeah,
it's just the next thing. You know, we're always talking about the next thing about this guy, about Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? And it's like it just makes me sick, and I'm so sick of it. And like, I would love to sit here and talk about why I hate Vince McMahon for the booking reasons and like the awful booking and stuff like that, and all the entertainment aspect of it. I would love to tell you why I hate Vince McMahon, but that just doesn't feel apt today. It doesn't feel
yeah.
appropriate. Maybe another day we'll have that conversation. So that's basically the report that Fightful took from the Wall Street Journal. Um, let's see here. I have a few things that I think worth sharing personally. Let's see here. Um, yeah, we'll go with this first. So hold on, let me pull this up because I thought this was a really, really good thread. So before we get into kind of more about the current, I would just like to run through a list of Vince McMahon controversies in the past. Are you
Yes,
okay with that?
absolutely.
All right, bear with me because as I was reading this thread earlier today, I realized how long it was. But again, we're going to talk about it. So Rita Marie Chatterton was the first female referee in WWE in the 80s. She got into Vince's limo to discuss her contract, but was forced to have oral sex to save her career. When she didn't agree, Vince allegedly raped her that night on July 16th, 1986.
So that's the one that Jordan actually just put in chat. Hashtag remember Rita Chatterton.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say anything there when you mentioned that, Jordan. I knew this was gonna come across in the rundown.
Yeah, and apologies in advance, Jeff. If you want to kind of handle the chat here, I know I normally try to handle chat, but because I'm looking at a lot of stuff, feel
Oh,
free
you're
to
good.
stop me and read chat whenever you
Yeah,
need to.
you know, more than reading it
Um,
out loud, I'm gonna kind of respond to them in chat myself too. So
I got you. I mean, I want to hear what everyone has to say too. It's a conversation at the end of the day. So I mean, if you can, don't
yeah,
worry about. Don't you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
cool.
And now I might have these two of the stories mixed up here. The story of him passing her around like a toy to John Laurinaitis, that's with
Yeah,
the current $3 million hush money one, right?
correct. So
Which is
okay,
why she
so
quit, right?
okay, yes. So
Okay.
basically, here's what happened. So let's lay out the story straight up, like the timeline for this incident. So in 2019, WWE hired, we don't know her name, hired a female employee as a paralegal. Her base salary, her starting salary was $100,000 a year. She entered sexual relationships with Vince McMahon. Vince at that point doubled her pay rate, which is all sorts of fucked up to begin with.
Yeah.
Like it's a big issue. As someone who comes from management of a much smaller position, like that, there's so many things wrong with that.
It
That's an HR
violated
nightmare, fucking just like right
everything.
off the bat. But so yeah, so she was making $200,000 after she started sleeping with Vince. At that point, Vince started sharing her and kind of treating her like an object and like a toy with John Laurinaitis. So basically he would pass her off to John, and John Laurinaitis, who is currently married to the Bella's mom, by the way. You know
Not
what I
for
mean? Like,
long.
oh no, absolutely not.
I would at least hope not if she's got any self-respect.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so he's, you know, John Laurinaitis is right-hand man in this, and that's where we're at. So fast forward to now, she's leaving the company, and so they paid her $3 million in hush money, so that way the story would never get out. However, unfortunately for them, the story has gotten out, and we'll talk about that later because we're going to talk about theories. Have a few of them. I'm sure you know chat might as well about how this all went down. But yeah, that's the current story.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna go through these things that Vince McMahon has done. Okay.
Right.
Next up on the list, God, this is a disgusting one. They're all disgusting. But in
Yeah.
2006, Vince came up with an incest storyline with Stephanie. Vince's pitch was to have Who's the Daddy story with Stephanie's unborn child. The end game was either Vince or Shane being revealed to be the father. Luckily, Stephanie rejected the idea.
Thank God. Jesus Christ.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're like, oh, I'm gonna impregnate my daughter. Like, bro. Like, it's so fucked up. It's disgusting. Next up, this is a pretty well-known one for those that watch Dark Side of the Ring. In 1983, Jimmy Snuka was charged with the murder of his girlfriend, Nancy Argentino. Vince was the one who did all the talking for his employee. Vince allegedly paid off the investigators to save Snuka from legal troubles. To this day, WWE does not acknowledge those charges.
Wow.
2006, once again, when Edge won the world title and they did the live sex celebration. Edge and Lita were both against the live sex celebration segment but Vince McMahon didn't listen to anyone, including John Cena, who tried to cancel this idea. McMahon even threatened to fire Lita if she didn't do what the company had planned for her.
I did not know about that one.
Yeah, I know. Some of these I learned too. When Steve Austin's then wife, Deborah, filed domestic violence charges on him, McMahon was the one to cover up for him. He allegedly told Deborah to never discuss this publicly with anyone. In fact, after Austin walked out on WWE in 2002, he was briefly arrested for beating his wife.
Aren't they still married? I don't know. I don't know.
According to this, no. Jim Ross once revealed that Vince wasn't going to sign Gail Kim to WWE, but he changed his mind after Ross told him that men were into Asian porn. Jim even said that McMahon didn't believe such a thing existed in the first place.
Oh, what now? Can you say that one more time?
So Jim Ross has gone on record saying that Vince McMahon wasn't going to sign Gail Kim to the company. But he changed his mind because JR, who was pressing him to sign her, just saying whatever he could to get her to sign because she's a great talent, said that men would be into her because men are into Asian porn. Jim Ross also clarified that he didn't that McMahon didn't even believe such a thing existed in the first place.
Asian porn?
Yes. I don't know. It's fucking weird, but that's
a weird one. Yeah.
Yeah. The 90s steroid trial. Who could forget about the 90s steroid trial? McMahon was accused of giving steroids to his wrestlers like candy, and many wrestlers even testified against him. He even transferred WWE's ownership to his wife Linda because there was no way he was getting out of it without a miracle. Unfortunately, a miracle happened. Also, they didn't sue in the right court of New York, which is the only reason why the case was thrown out, which is like to this day baffles my life. I just don't understand how that worked. And you know, for those that didn't see it, Dark Side of the Ring has an excellent episode on the steroid trial, and I definitely recommend you check it out.
Yeah, I kind of have some like inside knowledge on that one as well. Like, I wish I could get the guy to go on the record. My dad's friend, that Tom the Dream guy. You know, he's told me multiple stories of different wrestlers and him getting given flat out, just handed, you know, bags of steroids and HGH, but have no proof of it. I doubt he would ever come on. So
in 1992, Terry Garvin and Mel Phillips were accused of sexually harassing a young ring attendant named Tom Cole. Garvin and Phillips were fired and were never brought back. McMahon knew about this, but still didn't do anything about it. Cole committed suicide some time ago.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Vince McMahon personally interviewed Melanie Pillman on Raw the day after Brian Pillman's death. Used as a ratings ploy, they plugged it throughout the night on Raw. Vince used Melanie to avoid any accusations of drug/steroid abuse within the company. Which, if you've ever seen the promo or the segment, it's not even a promo. If you've ever seen the segment, it's fucking awful. Juan taking the words out of my mouth. Yes, John Cena. Vince did use the N word, referring to John Cena in front of Booker T. That was on my list. I hadn't gotten there yet, but yeah, we can go through that first. Yeah, Vince McMahon. There is video. Look it up on YouTube. Vince says, "What up, N word," to John Cena, in front of Booker T, and it's like, man, all right, cool.
Isn't he wearing the do-rag when he did that, or am I
Yeah, well, he was the ECW champion, so he was like, I don't know, he was like street, he was extreme, and he like, I don't know, man. I've watched a bunch of ECW as a Philly guy, and I never once heard the N word like really used. I mean, I think maybe New Jack once, but that's New Jack, so
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? An affidavit, I don't know how that word is pronounced, of late Ashley Massaro details an experience she had during a WWE tour to the Middle East. She claims that she had been raped and sodomized by a member of the military while on the trip. Vince told her to keep quiet so the WWE's relationship with the military would remain intact.
Yes, this is a long list, Juan.
Yeah, no, I understand, Juan. They apparently, Vince McMahon, so don't worry. We have plenty of coverage, and I don't mind, you guys bringing things up, because I might have missed things. Like, this might not be a perfect list. Yes, crazy. Rest in peace, New Jack.
The farther we go, it's getting weirder and weirder to me that, like, how do people still freaking, when this guy comes out, people are still doing the worship thing with their arms, and I'm like, what's the matter with you people, dude?
It's just disgusting. It's just absolutely disgusting.
If I ever see people doing that again,
Well, that's the other thing. I was making a joke earlier, but WWE Twitter is extremely quiet tonight, and as it should be, because there's no defending it. It's just disgusting. Like, how can you watch this fucking company? How can you sit there week in and fucking week out, watch this company, knowing that this is the guy that's in charge?
I'm telling you right now that this is not the only hush settlement. I guarantee you there are others.
No
guarantee
way.
There's others.
Let's move on with the list.
Yeah, keep going.
After China was aware that Triple H and Stephanie had been in a relationship behind her back, things between her and WWE deteriorated. China stated in an interview after meeting with Vince about the situation, she was sent home, received a fax telling her she was not needed anymore, and was fired via fax.
Wow.
Yep. According to one insider, Vince not only did tremendous amounts of cocaine, but bragged about it. Vince is quoted as saying, "I can snort as much of that stuff as anyone can put in front of me and never get hooked."
So is that why all the WWE stands are constantly talking about Tony being a cokehead? That's got to be it. Because
probably. I mean, again, they just hate the product. They hate it because it's not WWE.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I would I don't know. If
that's
you hate
the only
WWE,
thing I hear from them. I'm just like,
I mean, if you like WWE, then I don't know. I don't want to be friends with you at this point.
Oh, dude, the firing of CM Punk on his wedding day, that pissed me off.
Oh, don't worry, Juan. That was
lot.
So I kept like 2 or 3 for the end, and that is definitely one of them. Once again, don't worry about interrupting the list. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't worry. I didn't forget that for 7 long fucking years. Don't worry about that. Let's continue, because again, I do want to get through this list. We are getting close to the end, I promise. In 2006, McMahon was accused by a tanning salon attendant in Boca Raton, Florida. According to the criminal complaint, McMahon showed the attendant nude photos of himself. When she didn't bite, or whatever he was interested in, Vince was accused of forcing himself on her. Okay. McMahon repeatedly mocked Jim Ross and his Bell's palsy on WWE TV during the peak of the anti-bullying and Be a Star campaigns.
Oh, what a nice guy.
Mm-hmm. In 2005, Vince McMahon originally planned to do a KKK gimmick in WWE as confirmed by Chavo Guerrero. He further revealed in the interview that he wanted to go the whole 9 yards with the gimmick and said that he wanted to come out dressed as a KKK member, but they later backed out of the creative. Yeah, Owen Hart. I know we got so far down the list, but here it is. 3 weeks after Owen Hart's careless death on a live pay-per-view, his wife Martha Hart launched a wrongful death lawsuit against the WWF. She included her children and Owen's parents on the lawsuit. WWE settled out of court for approximately $18 million on November 2nd, 2000. Once again, the Dark Side of the Ring is an excellent show, and the episode on Owen Hart is also fantastic. Highly recommend it. They did not do a good job at all. They basically hired rigging company that does sales to do the rigging for Owen to come down to the ring from the rafters, instead of like the kind that like Sting was using, which was like for actual people use.
Yeah.
So, a lot of negligence on that part of the company. Not to mention, like, they fucking went on with the fucking show. Like, Owen Hart dies in the ring, and they're just like, all right, well, show must go on. Scoop him out of the ring. We talked about this a few weeks ago with Cody, when Cody tore his pec, and it's just like, that's all you need to know about this guy. Like, that's all you need to fucking know. The fact that, like, somebody died in his ring, and his response was scoop him up, get him out of the ring, continue the show. Oh, by the way, JR, we go live in 10 seconds. Can you let all the people at home know that Owen Hart's died? Like, what the fuck, man?
I'm in the camp of, I think it's a smaller group of people, but I actually believe that there was purposefulness put into that between Laurinaitis and Bruce Pritchard, I believe. How do I say that word?
So
that
I'm going to keep reading through this, Jeff. Can you confirm, report in the chat that Sasha was released?
I do not have my phone on me, but I will start flying through the Twitter here.
Yeah, see if you can find anything. Juan also saying that WWE had the audacity to sue Martha back. I know. Yeah. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. Anyway, let's continue on the list. Jeff, feel free to butt in if you find anything for us on that.
Real quick, I wanted to say, speaking of Dark Side of the Ring, like you were there, you guys hear that WWE has stepped in and forced the cancellation of said show, and they're going to be basically taking over and making their own like pro WWE documentaries now instead.
I had heard a little rumor about that, but I don't think it's that they necessarily shut down Dark Side of the Ring. It was more so that they're just going to do their own version.
Dark Side's getting canceled, and it's rumored to be because they demanded it.
We'll see what happens. I think from what I heard, Dark Side, the creator said that it's not canceled.
Okay.
And that they would have a statement eventually. So there's probably something to that, but we'll see what happens.
I do remember that. We did mention Jimmy Snuka one, yes.
Yeah, I did mention the Jimmy Snuka one. Isn't it funny that like I'm going through this list and people are just like, "Oh, did you mention this one yet?" Like, there's so many that people are just. It's like a band playing a song, like their songs. Like, "Oh, did they play this yet?"
So it's not from any confirmed sources yet, but people are saying that they are hearing Sasha Banks has been released, but nobody that I can use to confirm anything.
Okay, well, we'll definitely keep an eye on the news. I mean, this is the out for them. Like, this is absolutely like at this point, like. If they want out, like tonight's the night to get out.
Oh, absolutely.
This company. If you want out, if you want to get off the sinking ship, tonight's the night.
Yo, I would go as far as if I was a female wrestler on that roster, I'd be like, you will not have me performing again while Vince McMahon is still the CEO of this company.
Absolutely.
They should all.
We still have a lot.
They should all threaten to quit right now. Like.
Yeah. So anyway, we still have a lot. So let me continue to go through this. Matt Hardy revealed that Vince McMahon in 2003 wanted him to team up with Mark Henry and quote-unquote talk like a black person. Matt said he was supposed to talk about being suppressed and talk with a quote-unquote black slang. Okay. And then the last one I have on this list, but then I also have a few on my own personal list because this was all research I did. Tiger Ali Singh complained to Vince about making him wear a turban and traditional Indian garb, telling him it was offensive to his people and a desecration. Vince replied with, "You and D'Lo Brown are going to put on those fucking turbans. I don't care about desecration." Other little, and again, like, we're not going to go over like creative stuff that was in poor taste, whether it was his death angle or stuff like that. This is all stuff behind the scenes. I also kind of had a few other notes that I personally did before I did the research. McMahon treating his employees like independent contractors despite the fact that, or I'm sorry, treating them, like independent contractors, bad healthcare, not caring about their safety, well-being. The releases and budget cuts, even during a pandemic, even admitting on air shortly after a round of cuts that he enjoys firing people. This was a thing that happened. And the other crazy thing about this whole story is, so this pay raise that he gave this paralegal to give her an extra $100,000, this happened literally at the same time as a round of budget cuts. So, like, they cut talent for budget cuts, but in reality, they cut the talent because Vince was fucking an employee.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
The sick thing is I keep seeing stuff on Twitter that's like, oh, if I was a billionaire, I'd do the same thing. And I'm like, yeah,
like, what
you're
the
a piece
fuck is
of shit
wrong
too.
with you?
Fuck
like,
off.
what is wrong? Yeah, you're just awful. And then the last thing I have on the list of Vince McMahon stuff is the Saudi blood money. Like, let's not forget, like, we're talking about all this other shit, and him taking blood money from Saudi Arabia is still fucking disgusting and not okay. But so that's the list I have on Vince McMahon. I'm sure there's more. I mean, I didn't spend a lot of time doing this research.
So, real
Jordan
quick,
saying he cut
Wrestling News, who have 186,000 followers, they're reporting Sasha Banks has been released. But people are saying that Sean Ross Sapp has said she is not confirmed released yet. It looks like it could go either way right now. We have some people saying yes and some saying it's not confirmed.
Okay. Just keep an eye on it. I mean, we still have some more time to go before the show's over. So, if we got to talk about that, well, again, we already both kind of agreed that we're pulling a little bit of a late one here. So, everyone's enjoying us. Thank you to everyone that's sticking with us through the show, and really appreciate it as always.
Jordan saying they cut Wyndham to pay Sasha?
To pay, no, they cut Wyndham to pay the paralegal.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, which is just, again, fucking disgusting. Yeah, Juan in the chat even saying Vince's alliance with Trump should be mentioned too. I mean, yeah, he was very close with Donald Trump. I mean, that's definitely true. Which is always kind of a yikes thing. I mean, I believe Linda was too, though. So it's like, which I don't feel bad for Linda necessarily. I mean, she kind of she enabled Vince to be this way. But yeah, I mean, it's very true. The McMahons are definitely MAGA. MAGA. So next up, I'm going to kind of go through another Fightful report. This is premium content, so pay for you guys. So again, this is per Fightful. So WWE has made their staff aware of the Wall Street Journal article and issued an internal email to many of their staff saying the following. The Wall Street Journal has published a report about WWE with allegations that we and our board of directors take very seriously. We are cooperating fully with the independent investigation initiated by our own board of directors. End quote. WWE did not respond to comment when Fightful reached out to numerous reps for inquiries. Sources that they've spoken to even indicated that the alleged relationship between Vince and the paralegal was suspected by many in the company, and indicated that she was given a substantial promotion around the time of April 2021, those cuts. So again, like Jordan said, around the time Wyndham was cut. We're told specifically she was promoted from John Laurinaitis' assistant to a director role that spring. There hadn't been much of a mention regarding this investigation when Fightful would prod WWE sources about Stephanie McMahon's departure or Nick Khan taking over her duties. Fightful also asked to clarify when Nia Jax tweeted on April 30th, "It's a shame. Some people deserve to get the opportunity to shine like the star they really are, but unfortunately certain higher-ups can never see past their own perverted ways. Too bad there aren't the lucky ones who can use blackmail to keep their jobs." So that was a tweet from Nia Jax on April 30th.
I remember that tweet, actually.
Mm-hmm. And, also, kind of while we're on the subject of that type of thing, what really stuck out to me today was the Serena Deeb promo from 3 weeks ago, or right before Double or Nothing, where she talked about getting breast implants for perverted old people at the last place she worked at. You know what I mean? And like, you know what she's talking about there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Jordan, they were all emailed. All of the
Board of
execs were
directors.
emailed the information. So yeah, they started the investigation from within because they had no choice.
Keep in mind they're a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
So like when Vince takes this $3 million off the books to pay,
Yep,
like
that's
this
illegal.
is
It's
this
gotta
is
be.
illegal.
Gotta
He's
be.
fucking with investors' money. Like
Mhm.
it like again, like I was talking to Forrest earlier today. I was texting him and I was like, I don't know, like this if there's ever a time for like it all to finally catch up with Vince, this would be the time. If it doesn't happen here, he's gonna get away scot-free till he dies.
No,
Because like this is like some really high stakes shit. He's fucking with investors' money. You
this is
can't do
the
that.
this is the end of Vince McMahon as we know him. There's
Yeah. Juan asking in the chat, do you think Vince committed infidelity or adultery more than once? Absolutely.
absolutely,
With these types of cases, more women tend to speak out, especially in rape cases.
and
Um,
you got to think he's what in his 70s now, and this just happened what like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. What we're talking about. If he's doing it at this age, he had to have been doing it even more as a younger, when he was younger, when the laws were much more lax too.
yeah, I mean it's there like there's no way that it wasn't an ongoing thing. You know what I mean? Like there's absolutely no way. Like it or that it wasn't. Like
Alfred and Gareth paid him. Those are some
anyway,
WWE Twitter stands.
yeah. So continuing on, because again, there's a lot to cover here.
Holy shit, this list is way longer than I thought.
Yeah, I know. There was no mention of this from the WWE reps or higher ups, and Jax was dismissed as bitter on background. This would have been after the investigation was already underway. For those asking if Stephanie McMahon's absence is tied to this or if she had knowledge of the allegation, she's on the company board and would have been made aware of the investigation, as would have Triple H and Nick Khan. There was immediate speculation that someone in the company intentionally leaked the information. John Laurinaitis was given back the spot as head of talent relations in 2021, and immediately Fightful heard from the female talent who expressed frustration and displeasure with the move. Completely separate from hiring practices, which many of the women we spoke to felt were archaic, one followed up today with the condition of anonymity. Oh my god, being anonymous.
Yeah, I had
Sorry,
that earlier.
I'm can't do it for some reason. And said, I'd rather get all my shit sent to me in a trash bag when I get fired than have to deal with him. And neither are good options. Immediately, those that we spoke to in WWE on one condition of, being anonymous, agreed with early assumptions that this is the biggest threat to Vince McMahon's power in WWE since the steroid trial nearly 3 decades ago. The same sources we spoke to with expected John Laurinaitis to be replaced before all is said and done, and one speculated that he's being set up to be the latest fall guy for Vince. His turn in line was coming. Another male wrestler who was active in the 2000s and 2010s said that there had long been rumors of John Laurinaitis' alleged misconduct. A former writer said that it was an open suspicion in the mid-2000s. One former employee said that they believe this will be a domino effect and believes Vince McMahon will fight hard to stay, but doesn't see a situation in which Laurinaitis doesn't resign. It should be noted that neither McMahon or Laurinaitis have been charged with a crime in this situation, and as of now, there's no indication whether they will or not. Sean Ireland in the chat is asking what he is being investigated for. Been busy. Huh, you missed a lot then. So to keep it, just to kind of recap just to recap very bluntly for Sean. So basically, a report came out today that Vince McMahon paid $3 million in hush money to a paralegal that has left the company. The hush money is for the fact that he has sexual relations with her. She was hired in 2019 as a paralegal at a salary of $100,000. Once she started having sexual relationships with Vince doubled her salary to $200,000 a year. At which point he started treating her like a toy, passing her around with John Laurinaitis. So that is the blunt of the situation. Juan asking, do you think Linda will potentially have to step down from her political role because of her husband's actions? Yes and no. I'm well, no, but also yes. So here's the other thing, right? So I think that regardless of whether Vince stays or not, I do not think we see The Rock in WWE at WrestleMania next year anymore.
Nope.
I think that's off the table.
He is
I think
done.
that The Rock wants to run for president, and I think he does not want any part of this shit show. So I'm not saying that I think Rock would win a presidential election, but I know for a fact he's trying to keep himself out of controversy. So, I think this really affects the company in a lot of ways, apart from the obvious. I think that you're not going to see The Rock next year. There were really weird rumors that I had seen floating around on Twitter today. Not sure how real they were. That Linda basically has not lived with Vince for like 10 or 15 years, which I totally believe. And like apparently she's been living in like Florida, completely away from him. Juan saying Nick Khan was childhood friends with The Rock though. Yeah, and like maybe if some drastic changes were made, I could see The Rock being at WrestleMania next year. But I mean, just being completely honest, I mean like if Vince were to stay, that's it. Sean saying so they're investigating him to see if he used the company money or his own. I would assume so. I mean, we don't have a lot of details yet. What I've pretty much shared in the chat is, or in the stream, is what we have right now. I think he's just under investigation, number one, to see if it's true or not. If this was basically revealed to the board of directors via an email. So yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it would definitely partially be whether it was his money or the company's money. But also your CEO should not be doing things like that. So there's a lot of PR nightmare all over this thing. Like number one, having sexual intercourse with an employee, doubling her pay rate because she's having sex with him, objectifying her with another, higher up in the company. There's just, take your pick what you want to investigate it for. It's just all around. It's just not good.
Yeah, I'm just disgusted. This list is a lot longer than I thought, man, and I'm glad we're going over it because it's just reinforcing, these are the reasons, guys. This is why we don't cover WWE here.
Yeah. So I mean, let me see. I think I'm almost done, believe it or not. Let's see. So there was a report that someone at WWE has moved very swiftly against the McMahon family, Vince's retainers, over the past 3 or 4 months. Doesn't take a lot of brain power to guess who.
Yeah.
So basically, here's another little report that I was able to actually pick up. A common belief among people inside of WWE is that, number one, Stephanie stepped down because this was coming and she didn't want to be associated with it. And number two, and again, I'm not sure the validity of the source, admittedly, but I believe this person has had some decent sources in the past. Triple H is the one that leaked the story. So I don't know what I believe in that sense. I mean, there's reports of a lot of people. I think common sense is Nick Khan reported the story. I think that, I mean, in the matter of 4 months, all of the McMahons are out of the company. I think I actually had that as a note. Okay, here it is. So January 29th, Vince and Shane rumble spat. Shane is removed from further plans. So Shane leaves the company January 29th. March 25th, Triple H reveals his health details, announces an in-ring retirement, and basically that he's, stepping back, but he's still in the company. May 19th, Stephanie McMahon announces she is taking a leave of absence from the company. And then June 15th, today, Wall Street Journal drops his allegations about Vince. So, in a matter of 6 months, the McMahon family has been ousted from the company. So, I mean, you would have to assume that Nick Khan, which I'm not going to make a lot of jokes tonight, but I will make the joke that maybe Nick Khan was a sleeper agent all along.
Yeah.
Tony Khan, pressed the button and he activated. He's just like, time to shut this shit down.
So many people are stating that the WWE, if this is true, they obviously released this Sasha Banks information to deflect from this story. So if she has been released, it's obvious. Just, hey, look over here, not over here.
Another pathetic
Yeah,
display.
it's not going to work though. I mean, this is a much bigger story. Once this becomes a little bit more well known publicly, which again it was posted in the Wall Street Journal, which you don't get much more public than the Wall Street Journal. Um, it's going to be a big thing, and I think Juan, he's right that John Laurinaitis will definitely be fired. And I agree with him. I mean, it's definitely uncertainty about whether Vince is going to get gotten rid of or not. I mean, I'll tell you this: if he's still there, like, it just doubles down for me that I hate that company, and I hate what it represents. Could Nick Khan do better than the McMahons? I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely an argument that he could. Is he going to sell the company? I mean, that's also a possibility. Maybe Nick Khan takes control of the company and sells it and pockets $5 billion and rides off to the sunset. I don't know. Maybe that's what his plan is. At the same time, can I entertain the conspiracy that it was Triple H? I absolutely can. I think that they have slowly beaten Triple H down like a dog. And so I can kind of sympathize with that. I mean, they took his baby NXT and they destroyed that. They took his responsibilities away. They destroyed that. I mean, it's not necessarily their fault he lost his wrestling career, but I mean, it was a heart issue. So, you don't know the constraints that job might have had on him to cause the heart issue to begin with. So, I don't want to speculate necessarily about his heart condition, but I mean, I can definitely entertain that thought process. Like, if it's not Nick Khan, if someone was like Triple H did it, number one, I'd be like, fuck yeah, my guy Triple H coming through clutch. But like, also, like, I understand it. It's totally understandable. It's a shit show. It's an absolute shit show right now.
Yeah. Real quick here. Do you recognize the name from Wrestling Inc., Raj Giri?
Yes.
So he is reporting Sasha Banks has been released by the WWE.
He has proven to be somewhat reputable in the past.
Yes. So, wow.
I'm going to do some research too, see what I can come up with. I know you are as well. Why don't you talk about that for a little bit? I've been talking for like 20, 30 minutes. So.
Oh, yeah. If this is true, man, obviously they released her to deflect from this story right now, trying to get people to talk about Sasha instead. But I don't think that's going to work. People are still extremely disgusted by this entire story from the Wall Street Journal. But man, if Sasha is available at the moment, oh my goodness.
Hold on.
All right.
Fightful's reporting it now.
Fightful is now reporting it. Let's fucking go. Give me Mercedes.
Now they are citing Raj Giri as their source.
Okay.
Fightful is reporting boss time could be running out. According to a report by Raj Giri, WWE has released Sasha Banks. He does not state whether this was a company decision or done at the behest of Banks. Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp has reached out to WWE, but they were unable to confirm the news at this time. Sean Ross Sapp tweeted out about an hour ago, I spoke with Raj this afternoon and asked WWE about this. As of this evening, they said they hadn't heard that and that talent relations didn't seem to know. Not saying that it didn't or isn't happening, but this is what I've heard so far when I asked. Raj has good sources.
Okay.
So Sean Ross Sapp, even though he can't confirm it on his end, he's saying that Raj Giri has legitimate sources that can back it up. And Fightful feels strongly enough about this being a possibility that they are reporting on it. So there you go.
Bet you the source is Mercedes herself.
Possibly. Sean Ireland saying he could see Nick Khan running the business side and Triple H run the creative side. Honestly, I'd be okay with that. Yeah. And, it was actually funny. The wife asked me today, if Vince steps down, will I watch WWE again? And I told her I would have to see how it shakes out, like the business side. But if things can get better there and we can get rid of the garbage and if that place can be better, I would definitely entertain the idea. But there's a lot more issues there than Vince McMahon. So it wouldn't just be that. I would need to see Vince gone. I would need to see Kevin Dunn gone, which, Lord, I don't know how that would go. I mean, maybe if Vince leaves.
I need 4 people gone. Vince, Laurinaitis, Pritchard, Dunn.
Yeah, those are the 4 for me too. I was getting there, but yeah, those are my 4 as well.
My four horsemen of the apocalypse. Get them the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Sean Island also saying that Fightful did report it but didn't confirm it. But yeah, I mean, I know of Raj Giri, and if Sean Ross Sapp says that he has good sources, which in the past he's proven that he does,
Yeah.
that would be
To
a
me-
confirmation for me. I mean, I would definitely. I mean, obviously, again, it's not confirmed by Fightful, and Fightful is one of the sources that I personally really trust, like him, Meltzer. For me, it's like the Observer and Fightful are the two that I trust the most.
Yeah.
Um, oh, I mean, we'll see. But
Hey,
man, what a
Raj
huge
gets
day.
this, if Raj breaks this, man, he'll be one of my go-tos from now on.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's had good sources in the past. I mean, I've definitely used some of his reporting before for us. It wouldn't be the first time.
Oh yeah. All right, well, that's good news for AEW. I can tell you that shit right now. As soon as Tony Khan confirms if that is true or not, I guarantee you he's got that phone in his hand. So, Mercedes and AEW. So I'm gonna make a statement here that may be a little controversial, and I want you guys to slap me if it's too far. Signing Mercedes Vernado, Sasha Banks to AEW is the biggest thing that they could do besides getting someone like Roman Reigns. I don't think there's anybody out there bigger than Sasha Banks. Not even in the men's division on the E.
Are you saying like realistically, or
like if they were to sign Sasha right now, I don't think there is anybody other than Roman that could be as big of a signing for AEW. Even though
in terms of hurting WWE?
What's that?
In terms of hurting WWE?
Yeah.
I would say Charlotte Flair above Sasha.
Really? People hate her though.
It's the pedigree of it. It's the fact that it's the legacy of the Flair name, the Queen. You know what I mean? Like, she's main evented WrestleManias more than Sasha has. I don't think Sasha's ever even main evented WrestleMania.
Yeah, the Sasha stands mixing with the AEW fans is gonna be crazy. They're definitely gonna have
to see the WWE fans kind of be like, but, oh no.
But I was told that this was terrible over here. What?
I just hope someday that like WWE diehards will just try it. Just watch the show. Like.
No, Sean, I agree. You don't have to delete that message, man. I agreed.
What did he say?
He said, I think that, never mind. He said if Raj is wrong, he might as well delete his Twitter.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah. I mean, it's a big claim to make right now. But again, Raj has good sources, and also I don't think Raj would tweet about it unless he was somewhat sure about it. So obviously, this is it's getting a little late here. It's 12:10 on the East Coast, where pretty sure Sasha lives on the East Coast, as does WWE corporately is here on the East Coast. So it's about midnight now. So I mean, I don't know if we're going to necessarily get much of a confirmation right now.
No. Have we finished
I mean, it's definitely possible.
Have we finished our list of the Vince horrific blunders?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much caught up. I mean, that's the news that we have right now on it. It's just extremely shitty. We'll obviously be reporting on it as we go along. If there's any news developments directly tomorrow, we'll probably do a live stream, and if not, we'll definitely touch up on updates on Friday when we do our post Rampage show.
Yep. So I do see we got quite a few people back in our chat here now. For those of you who are arriving late, we'll do a quick recap of what's going on here. The Wall Street Journal has covered a story of the WWE internally investigating Vince McMahon for a $3 million hush agreement with a former employee, a paralegal. Apparently, Vince had sexual relations with her and agreed to double her salary in exchange. He reportedly passed her around to other executives like John Laurinaitis. And this has now started a humongous investigation internally. You can almost guarantee that there's going to be more hush things like this. I mean, a 70-something-year-old man, there can't just be this one, and it's only a year old, 2 years old. There's got to be more. The closet's going to be full.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah,
Commenting on Sean in the chat again, saying it's hard not liking WWE. Grew up with them. Like, man, listen, I understand.
Dude.
No, I get it. I also grew up with them. Like this, I was not a WCW kid growing up at all. It's just, it's like there just comes a point where you gotta look at what you're doing and just like, or what you're consuming, like whether it be like wrestling or anything in life, man. Like if something's toxic, like you gotta jettison it. It's just, it's not healthy. And WWE is just something that's not healthy. Like I get it. I do get it. I understand. Again, I was in the same boat. I was able to cut myself off 2 years ago. And I was able to say, enough is enough. I can't take it anymore.
And dude, Sean's statement right there, I could not have put that into better words. Like when you tell me like to quit watching and like, be serious here for a moment. That is literally like the struggle within me. Like I've been watching since I was 4 years old with my dad, like since I can remember pretty much. And to just stop is like super hard. But like I said earlier, this was the straw that broke the camel's back, man. I don't think that I am going to be able to turn that channel on ever again until Vince is out of there and those 4 we just named are out of there.
And again, I know we make a lot of jokes on the show, about hating WWE, and like when I'm saying this from the heart, like wholeheartedly, like I completely understand what the dilemma you go through, with the dilemma Sean goes through, with the dilemma with everyone goes through, because I'm the same way. Like I would love to get excited to watch Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. I absolutely would. You know what I mean? Like there are people in WWE still to this day that I wish I could watch on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Honest and wholeheartedly.
Kevin Owens,
but it's
man.
like
so good. Like Kevin Owens is so good.
Yeah, man. I was such a big Kevin Owens fan, and it breaks my heart because I know he's there doing great work.
Yeah.
But like I can't do it. I just can't do it. And like I understand. Like it's super depressing. Because again, it's something we grew up with. Like it's something that like is ingrained in us to love this thing. It's like without WWE, like I don't watch pro wrestling, and then I don't watch AEW. You know what I mean? And AEW doesn't exist without WWE. Like that's just the truth. There was a need for an alternative, and AEW filled that hole.
Yep.
So it's like, WWE is super important in terms of its legacy, but at the same time, like we can't. I can't look at this list that I just read off to the stream. Which if you weren't here for it, once the podcast is over, the stream's over, please go back and watch it. I think Jeff's going to be doing some editing to kind of cut the podcast into 2 different videos.
Oh yeah.
But please check it out later, and just like the laundry list of things that Vince McMahon has done and the things that this company does and continues to do. And we're not even talking about the booking aspect, because the booking is bad enough for me to stop watching. But like, just the way this company has handled things, the way it treats its employees, because they are employees. They are. To say they're independent contractors is fucking ignorant. They're employees. Take care of them. Treat them like employees.
Here's a good point that I saw today. When have you ever seen a controversy in the WWE that was handled the proper way and not tried to get swept under the rug or paid off?
That's true. It's very true. Juan in the chat, Triple H's NXT doesn't get talked about enough. Would love to see him leading the company on the booking side of things. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: if Vince steps down tomorrow and they get rid of Bruce and they get rid of Laurinaitis, and they're like, all right, well, Nick Khan is going to be running the business and Triple H is going to run creative, sign me up. I'll check it out.
Absolutely.
I think very highly of Triple H to this day, even as a no longer WWE fan, AEW diehard. Like I absolutely respect Triple H and everything he tried to do post wrestling or post in ring. So I respect the guy enough where I would give it a shot. I would probably wait a few weeks to give it some time to start building up, but I would at least try it once or twice. But again, big changes would need to be done at that point.
Yeah, man. Prime NXT was better than the main roster WWE every year. Absolutely, man. One of my favorite matches of all time was primetime black and gold NXT, Sasha versus Bayley.
Yeah.
Sasha versus Bayley at TakeOver was incredible. I think it's still to this day, I think that's my favorite female match of all time. Like the best women's match I've ever seen. But
yeah.
We might get Sasha over in the AEW, and
I couldn't be happier about that. If this is true, if she is released, if she was released, that does mean she's gonna have a 90-day, right?
Yes, that is what that entails, actually.
Because
Yes.
I think it was supposed to be up sometime here in June, so I think they may have released her to get this news out there and to activate the 90-day.
I think it was July, but yeah, I think
July,
you're right.
yeah. Well, they activated the 90-day, so I doubt we'll see her at All Out, but I think that should do it for us tonight, man. You want to close us out here?
Yeah, absolutely. So this has been episode 44 of the Broken Tables podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider giving us a like and subscribe, or a follow depending on where you find us. Thank you for listening to us here on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. You can follow us on Twitter at Broken Table Show, or on Facebook and Instagram at The Broken Tables Podcast. You can follow me. My Twitter handle is currently underneath me, under my box. It's also in the description.
Yep.
We go live on YouTube following every single AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and even pay-per-views. Just a reminder that Forbidden Door is coming up 2 Sundays from now. There will be a prediction show where I will be defending my Broken Predictions World Championship against the not real Forrest. Not a real person, also not a real contender. As one of our commenters pointed out, he is just a cartoon. And I can definitely defeat a cartoon. So, look forward to that. But there will be a prediction show. There will also be a post show. Make sure you hit the like button. We really appreciate everybody checking us out on the stream tonight. Again, we will be back on Friday, unless some sort of crazy breaking news happens tomorrow. Which that would be wild to have three days in a row. That would be nuts. But again, thank you for everybody. Thank you for Jordan, our wonderful, beautiful mod. And we hope to see everybody next time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, guys. And like Rome said, thank you, Jordan, to our mod. And everybody have a great night. Top Guys out.